budget, how far in the red would we be?
We'd be about 140,000 in the red.
So we would be in the red if we hadn't moved some of that around, so I hope when everybody looks at it, this, whatever happens with your property, still didn't cover what we need to run the city.
Quick question on this for the current property tax.
Yes, sir.
These two numbers here, the difference between, is this just residential, these two numbers?
Where are you getting them?
That's on your worksheet, on your revenues for current property taxes.
Uh-huh.
Last year, it was adopted for 3.3 million, and this year it's 3.4 million.
Yes, sir.
So the difference between, so before I ask, is that just residential, or does that include anything else?
That includes everything.
So that's commercial too?
Yes, sir. And also includes the ceiling tax.
Okay, so then that answers, that's why I'm not matching, because I don't have all those into it, so, okay. And then the only other question is, whenever I talked to you, you said we were gonna try to cut some contract labor, and I saw where we cut 20,000 in contract labor, but were we not able to cut any more than that?
The other one was, the one that EDC appropriated, so it's not in this budget. I mean,
Okay,
it
so
is, but it's not.
But it's covered by EDC?
It's covered by
Okay.
EDC.
Cool.
So this public hearing is to receive citizen comments, and for discussion, it's not to adopt a tax rate tonight. So does anybody have questions, concerns, comments? Yes, sir. Come on up here to the microphone and tell us who you are and where you live. And
Sure. My name's Larry Price. I live at 808 Linden Drive. This is a follow-up to Mr. Forrester's comment. I hear a lot of complaints in the neighborhood about taxes and tax increases. The rate itself is going up modestly, but the hooker in that is, of course, the valuation.
Right.
Mr. Forrester said the total real estate taxes collected last year were $3 million. This year is budgeted at $3.4 million.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that, I assume that's not mostly new that's just a change, mostly.
Very little of the new property is
Right.
included in this.
So it's most of that tax increase comes because properties are assessed at higher values.
Yes, sir.
So the average increase for a property owner is on the order of 10% this year.
In that neighborhood, it's, like I said earlier, it's $50.83 is what it would be. On a basic house in River Oaks at $179,000.
that's dollars, not percentage. So
Yeah.
That's dollars, but,
Actually, it's less than 3.5 altogether.
that's the tax rate.
Right.
But the homeowner, last year he was living on a last year he was living on a $160,000 house, and this year he's living on a $179,000 house. It's the same house,
Yeah.
but you're saying the rate doesn't go up very much. I can see that,
No.
but the taxes appear to be going up on the order of 10%. Okay.
The tax rate's going down. We're going from 0.7 to 0.6.
Yeah, we're going.
The rate goes
Yeah.
down.
The
Yeah,
rate
the rate
is
is going down.
The problem.
But your house value went up.
The problem isn't
Yeah.
the rate, the problem is the
Tarrant
valuation.
County tax.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, just for the record, we have nothing to do with that. That's Tarrant Appraisal District. That's Tarrant Appraisal District, not anybody within the city that decides those dollar amounts good or bad.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you coming in tonight.
I think it was 15.8%. I did, and I will tell everybody again, if Fort Worth, on their final, decides for that to be less, we will take that off of the sewer, rate increase. It's not a sewer rate increase until y'all adopt it by ordinance. So what you're, adopting here tonight is what it stands as now. But if the rate does, come down, we'll come back with the ordinance at a lesser rate.
How many times have they ever lowered it?
It's happened periodically, but I wouldn't get too,
When will they make their, do you know when their meeting is to make that decision?
no, sir, I don't. I did get a notice from them this evening, so I do know that they are working through it, but I do not know the final numbers yet.
And we have 0 options, so we can't do anything but adopt it.
Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be an increase, that's for sure.
And you're saying it's about 15% this year?
About 15%.
And the year before last was 17%?
15% up from last year's.
No, but I mean, can you give me like a general idea of what that means per household?
Yeah, I don't have my, thing in here, but it's $4.50 per household. Depending on how much water they use for the 3 months. Those 3 months of the year, you wanna be careful not to do any outside watering or anything, because that's where they base it from.
Which
We-
3 months?
December, January, and February?
December, January, and February.
So for those of you that don't know what he's talking about, basically we have no way to measure the amount of sewage that we are sending to Fort Worth. So what is, I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it over the years now, that they take the slower months, which they deem to be December, January, and February. They measure our water usage and use that to calculate the rate that we pay per sewer.
How much did you say per household?
So that way,
About $4.50.
people aren't washing their cars, they're not watering their yards and all that as much, so it's a
On the
fairer
base
way
fee.
supposedly for them to come up with
The
a
base fee
number of
is
what we
calculated, they charge every resident in River Oaks 10,500 gallons whether they use it or not. So that has to be your baseline.
So what does that equate to dollar-wise then?
Don't have my chart before me, but I'm thinking it's $50, around $50.
Okay, 'cause mine,
It's in the 40s. I could go get it if you want me to.
It's been water or sewer?
That's sewer.
because I thought mine was the base since single living alone, and
Hey,
mine is.
that's not how it's done.
No, I know, but I mean, I don't use as much as like somebody that has like 3 or 4 people. And mine was $42.50 just for sewer, and if I do 15% of that, that's $6.38.
Yeah, counting your, but you have to keep in mind the amount of usage over the base fee that also goes into that calculation. So that could very well be. Depends on how much of water they use. Say they're in the lowest bracket there is, then their rate would only be like 42. And they're not using over the bottom line of the cubic feet allowed, so therefore that would be their rate.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is because I even went back another, my base is $42.50, so if I do that times the 15, then it's double what you just said, the $3.50.
450, I was just talking about the base. In other words, we're raising it from 40 to 44.50, I believe it is.
And for those of you who don't know, Councilman Holland is online with us. I want to make sure that you're hearing us okay.
Steve?
Yes,
Okay.
Hear it?
Making sure you could hear us okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can't make out everything, but I make out most.
We're working on that too, as you know.
Well, those aren't exact, I can go get the form if you want me to, and to bring it up here.
I'm very good with calculations, I was just trying to figure out, I mean, here's another $10 to $12 monthly on top of it. What, I do have another follow-up question from all the conversations, and I know you've told us before, so, but what would we be in the red if we did not have a tax increase?
In the general, about, well, if we didn't have a tax increase, Let's see, it's about 48.96.